Hi, this is Mark Littleton, the minister of the Word for the Athens Church of Christ, with today's 3-minute sermon. In Ephesians chapter 6, beginning in verse 10, the Apostle Paul writes, "Finally, be strong in the Lord and in the strength of his might. Put on the whole armor of God, that you may be able to stand against the schemes of the devil. For we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the cosmic powers over this present darkness, against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly places." Whenever I read this passage, I think of that old story about the boxer in the ring, and he was absolutely getting pummeled by his opponent. I mean, he was beating him right and left. The bell rang to end the round, and both of the boxers went to their corners. The guy that was getting beat up went back to his corner, and his trainer was encouraging him, and he said, "Man, just keep going. You got this. That bum's barely touching you." To which his boxer replied, "Well, if he's barely touching me, somebody better go check out that referee because somebody's beating me to death." We are in a real war against a real enemy. The Bible calls our enemy Satan, and he would love to do nothing more than to pummel us and to beat us and to render us ineffective in our service for the Lord. And yet what Paul says in this passage is that doesn't have to happen. He doesn't have to beat us up and leave us useless. If we will put on the whole armor of God, and if we will stand in that armor and stand in Jesus Christ, we will win the victory because of Jesus over Satan. It's not because of our strength, it's not because of our might and power, but it is because of what Jesus has already done in going to the cross. In our relationship with Him, because of what He has done on the cross for us, Satan is a defeated foe. He can swing and he can do his best to defeat us, but in Christ he simply cannot. So here's my challenge to you today. If you don't know Christ, I pray that you'd come to know Him. But if you are a Christ follower, my challenge is put on the armor. Stand in the spiritual armor that Paul talks about here in Ephesians 6. And don't give ground to Satan. You cannot and will not lose if you will stand in Jesus Christ, because He has already won the victory. Lord willing, we'll see you again later this week for another 3-minute sermon. God bless.